All right, so let's actually walk through an example in R and try to find what observations have large hat values. And the example that we're going to be working with comes from the Duncan dataset, which provides information on perceived levels of prestige and other characteristics from an opinion survey in the US from 1950. And our outcome is going to be essentially how prestigious individuals thought an occupation was. And so it'll be the percent of raters in the study that rated that occupation as excellent or good in prestige. Then the first indicator or predictor that we're going to include is income. So we might be interested or think that uh, dominated fields by men that have high degrees of income would be perceived as prestigious in 1950. Then we're also going to include a variable of education, which again is including how many men in 1950 were or had high school degrees in that field. So if we go over to R, we can access this data using the car library. So all we're doing in line 1 is getting the data. We really don't have to do anything because, again, this is saved and promised by R when we call in the data from the library. Then all we're doing in line 3 is opening up, again, a scatter plot of our two covariates, education and income. And this identify function is kind of cool because it allows you to click on different points and then it puts in the row name from Duncan. So that's all we're doing here. And I've pointed out a couple of different ones that may be outliers because, again, they're farther away from the center of the cloud in our covariate space. Now that we've just kind of visually identified what observations may be likely to have large potential leverage, we're going to actually go ahead, run our regression, and get our hat values. So what we're doing in line 4 is just running our additive model with prestige as our outcome and education and income as our predictors. And then in line 6, I'm just showing you another way in which you can get your hat values in R. So this is a really simple function. It's just hat values, and then you put in your regression object. So what we're going to do is we're going to plot the hat values against the indices of 1 to 45, so we know which observations they are. And then we're going to include the thresholds that we talked about as being critical thresholds for observations that may potentially have high leverage. And this is all we're doing here. So in line 1, we're opening up the plot where, again, our x is just 1 through 45, and we have our hat values as our y. We're just adding in lines for our criteria. And again, I'm just clicking on some of the ones that have large hat values. And so what we can see here is that, again, there are some observations that we saw that fall outside of that covariate cloud space. And again, these are popping up as having large hat values. So again, these 3 points have potential to greatly influence our fitted model.